Welcome to the next episode of Developing a Squat Practice. Today we're going to talk about buy and build versus a squat practice. There's no real right or wrong answer, and it really comes up to individual choice. But the bit that I think that you do need to be really aware of is the risks and benefits, pros and cons of both. I think is really, really important. So buy and build. So we've done a lot of acquisitions in the past. And when you're buying a practice, you're buying a ready-made patient book, an established building, you've got all the equipment, you're really ready to go on day one because everything is in-house and you can go straight away and you can make money pretty much straight away because it's an established business. The downsides of buying a practice that's already established is really around if you want to put your own mark on a practice, you want to build in your own culture, that's really hard where you've got staff, you've got teams that have probably been there for 10, 15, 20 odd years. So changing culture is really difficult, changing processes, if you want to put a new system in, all of these things take a lot longer, they take a lot of influencing, and you want to bring your team on that journey. Otherwise, you'll end up losing your team, and what you've bought is probably not worth it because you've lost half the team and the goodwill within your business. So it's a real fine balance. The other downside of the buy and build model is really around you can't put your own equipment in there, you can't really design the patient journey how you want. You're kind of taking on someone else's vision. And if you're someone that actually is quite happy to take on an established model, that's great. But if you're really entrepreneurial and you really want to design what your patient journey looks like, you really want to put your stamp on it, buying an existing practice can be more challenging, but not impossible. The other option is a squat practice, and that's largely what we've done and where we've been really successful. The pros of doing a squat practice is you can design it how you want. Day one, you set the culture, you come up with a brand. Every part of that practice is really evolved around your vision and your journey that you see that practice to go on. The downsides, however, with a squat practice, it's risky. You don't have patients on day one. You don't have cash flow on day one. You need to build that. So your squat strategy needs to be really clear. You need to have a really clear vision. You need to have good cash flow planning. And you need to be very much aware that this is going to be a little bit more of a longer journey of building up the practice, but the long-term goal of what you could build can be far more fruitful than a existing buy and build. But again, it's not one fits all, it's really up to you. You really need to look at both sides of whether it's best to buy a practice or whether to build your own. And both can be super successful, but going in with an open eye, really doing kind of the risk assessment on it is really important. I hope that helps you in today's episode of Developing a Squat Practice.